Perlmutter. Now recognize the gentleman from Florida, Dr. Dunn.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. It's always a lot of fun to come here and listen to the interesting and intelligent people that you bring to these hearings. I have 1,000 questions in 5 minutes, so I'm going to jump right in. We spoke earlier. You know my background as a surgeon, so I'm going to ask a lot of questions about life sciences if I can. So, what are the special risks, or are there special risks in deep space missions that differ from long duration, low Earth orbit missions?
Probably the biggest risk that occurs is the risk to radiation and radiation exposure to humans in deep space. Around the Earth, we're shielded somewhat from some of the radiation by the magnetosphere. In deep space, that shielding is gone. So we're going to have to go look at techniques to shield the crews and look at if there's any other techniques we can even do in terms of medication and other things to help with radiation during the journey. It's not an insurmountable problem, but it's a problem that we need to address that we can't look at as easily around the Earth as we would like. So
you're already opening up new avenues of research in life sciences for these extended deep space missions. That's exciting. Yep. And of course, some of that can obviously translate to Earth too. You can Earthbound. So what interesting things have we learned from the Kelly astronaut twin experiments? And you don't go too long. I mean, I know about the telomeres and all that.
I think that's the exciting thing, is looking at how the genome changes just exposed to microgravity. And we believe that it's a microgravity change that is causing changes to
microgravity, not radiation.
Yes. And they can differentiate between radiation and microgravity changes, and why certain genes upregulate some, why they downregulate when exposed to microgravity. That's a fascinating research subject. I would have to bring some of the researchers here that are much better versed than myself, but they can explain to you what they're seeing, and it's really opened up a whole new line of questioning, and this is how I think science and medicine really advances, that new questioning, something you never thought about, you're now exposed to, it calls into question your basic theory, then that basic theory changes, and now you're going to develop a brand new way to go solve some problem or to do something in the future. So this is a very exciting phase of research.
Yeah, we look forward to hearing from that side of your shop as well. Well, how does this affect the design? There's some interesting design modifications for deep space missions then that vary from our low Earth orbit. What are you doing with that Orion capsule to make that more habitable?
Yeah, one big thing is the radiation environment. Again, we look at some potential shielding. When we took Orion on the exploration flight test, we flew radiation sensors on it. When we take it on exploration mission 1, it will also fly radiation sensors. We'll also fly a mock-up of a human torso inside the capsule, and embedded in the human torso will be radiation monitors to simulate the various organs inside the human, and then we'll look at a radiation protection vest on the outside of the human on exploration mission 1 to gain insight to see if that provides some protection for our crews. But I think there'll be some type of storm shelter or radiation shelter design into our future deep space vehicle.
Well, we talked about changes in DNA in long duration microgravity and radiation. Are we going to put animal experiments on the unmanned Mars missions?
We presently don't have any, I don't believe we have any animal missions on exploration mission 1, the first mission. We just have the instrumentation and the hardware, but we
be interesting.
We could look at that. We don't have the life support system there, so we'd have to put some kind of life support system on that first test flight to accommodate some animals. But we're doing significant animal research on board space station. We have all the basic animal models, which you're
or tissue cultures, even something with DNA in it, right? Yep. So Dr. Magnus, you have a kind of a personal relationship with radiation in space. Can you comment on this?
No, I found, I was on the space station for 4.5 months, and I felt like the exercise protocols that we had were sufficient. I came back with no bone mass or
no loss of bone density?
No. So I think we've got that licked, and I think Bill's right. The radiation is the key issue, and we still are learning a lot about what can happen in a radiation environment. I think the ability to do some work around the moon will inform us a little bit more about what we don't know. And as Bill mentioned, give us new lines of inquiry to make sure we've got our bases covered before we go to Mars.
Well, you have an excited and engaged, interested committee here, so keep us in your thoughts and keep us informed. Thank you very much. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Thank you for those good questions.